On April 20th, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon oil rig, located 41 miles off the coast of Louisiana, was engulfed in flames after a catastrophic blowout. What began as a tragic accident would soon become one of the worst environmental disasters in history. The Deepwater Horizon Oil Spill, also known as the BP oil spill, released millions of barrels of oil into the Gulf of Mexico, devastating ecosystems, economies, and communities. This is the story of that disaster, its causes, its impacts, and the lessons the world learned in its aftermath. The Deepwater Horizon was an advanced offshore drilling rig designed to extract oil from deep beneath the ocean floor. Owned by Transocean and leased by BP, it was considered one of the most cutting-edge rigs in the industry. With a crew of 126 aboard, the rig was in the final stages of drilling the Macondo well, a mile beneath the ocean's surface. On April 20th, something went terribly wrong. The well's pressure had become unstable, but despite warning signs, decisions were made to continue operations. At 9:45 p.m., as the crew was preparing to close off the well, a powerful surge of gas and oil shot up the drilling piper blowout. The blowout preventer, a key safety device designed to stop such a surge, failed. In seconds, the rig was engulfed in flames. The crew, caught off guard, was thrust into chaos. For 11 workers, the situation turned deadly. They were unable to escape the inferno. The rest of the crew, many injured and terrified, managed to abandon the rig as it continued to burn uncontrollably. The explosion left 11 men dead and dozens more traumatized. In the aftermath, the world focused on the immediate tragedy, but a much larger disaster was brewing below the surface. For 2 days, the Deepwater Horizon rig burned before sinking into the Gulf of Mexico. But when it went down, it left behind a gaping wound in the ocean floor. Oil was now spewing into the Gulf at an unprecedented rate, up to 60,000 barrels per day. Efforts to cap the well failed, and as the days passed, the true scope of the disaster became clear. For 87 days, oil poured into the Gulf. It spread across 68,000 square miles of ocean, creating slicks that could be seen from space. The environmental damage was staggering. Wetlands, fisheries, and beaches were coated in oil. Marine life suffered greatly. Dolphins washed ashore dead. Birds covered in oil could no longer fly, and vast schools of fish were decimated. In the weeks following the blowout, BP and government officials scrambled to contain the spill. Engineers tried everything, from capping the well with containment domes to injecting mud and concrete into the wellhead. But each attempt failed. The pressure from the oil was too great, and the deep-sea conditions too difficult to manage. The US government, led by the Obama administration, grew increasingly frustrated with BP's inability to stop the spill. Public anger mounted as the oil continued to gush, with each passing day adding more destruction. The fishing and tourism industries along the Gulf Coast were crippled. Thousands of livelihoods were lost as the oil fouled the waters, making fishing impossible and driving tourists away from the once pristine beaches. The government launched an investigation into BP, Transocean, and Halliburton companies that all played roles in the disaster. Reports later revealed that cost-cutting measures, poor safety protocols, and mismanagement led to the blowout. BP eventually agreed to pay billions in fines and settlements, but no amount of money could undo the environmental and human damage caused by the spill. On July 15, 2010, after 87 days of failed attempts, BP finally succeeded in capping the well. A technique known as static kill allowed engineers to pump mud and concrete into the well, sealing it off for good. The immediate crisis had been averted, but the damage had already been done. The spill had released 4.9 million barrels of oil into the Gulf, making it the largest accidental marine oil spill in history. The environmental and economic toll would be felt for years to come.